My name is Hutchinson-Lundy, and this is a documentary on why I want to become a teacher. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of my experiences I had as a student at Mount Olive High School in Mount Olive, New Jersey. I'll also be hopefully interviewing one of my old high school teachers that I really look up to and admired. So I hope you guys enjoy. That I didn't really know where to start out, so instead of just wondering, I decided to head over to Mount Olive High School, where it kind of all began for me. So I was fortunate enough in my high school to have a recording studio and a sound booth built into the basement of my senior year, I think it was. And students could use it after school, or they could use it for classes such as Rock and Roll Academy, where you would learn how to play instruments and basically participate in a band-like setting. We also had things built in later called the Mill, which is also another lab built into the basement of our high school called the Mill, which stood for the Marauder Innovation Learning Lab. And inside that were about 36 3D printers that students could access during class time and outside of school. So, as my high school offered a broad range of sports to choose from, I decided to go with volleyball. And I was also fortunate enough to be on a team that was very good, and we ended up winning my senior year our league title, our county title, our state sectional title, as well as our conference title, as you see in the pictures here. Alright, so basically for this documentary, I decided to, go back to thinking, when I was a student in high school, and I was trying to think of if there was an exact point in high school where I decided that I wanted to be a teacher, that I wanted to do, the job that my teachers were doing. And there was only one teacher that I could think of who really inspired me and motivated me to be where I am today, and that's Mr. Pieper. So Mr. Pieper I had junior year of high school. He was my history teacher. I think I had him for US 2 history, and what better than to just meet up with him and ask him some questions, regarding high school and, the teaching world. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I know I may have gone over this just before in my video, but I just wanted to say before I start the interview with my teacher that his name is Mr. John Pieper. He is a history teacher at Mount Olive High School. He's been teaching for about 6 years now, so he's fairly young. He taught US 2 history for me my junior year of high school, and here is me asking a couple questions about his teaching, and also him giving me some advice for the future.
I first decided I wanted to be a teacher with my high school job. I had a job where I was a gymnastics coach, actually, and I'd never done gymnastics. And I taught this class, and the kids were 5 to 7 years old. So this 5-year-old girl named Cameron was just like a total ADHD kid, all over the place, just a typical little kid. Didn't care about gymnastics, wasn't athletic or anything. And from working with the class over the course of 7 weeks, by the end of the thing, she came in and she couldn't even run in a straight line. And then by the end of the class, she was doing the balance beam and cartwheels. And the first time she did a cartwheel, she freaked out, ran over and hugged me, and it was all right, this is really cool, to be able to get somebody to that aha moment when they learn something and they get it. I was like, yeah, I could do this full time. Maybe not gymnastics, but something that I actually like. So that's what pushed me to become a teacher.
All right. Were there any teachers when you were a student that you looked up to / admired? And what about them did you like the most?
The answer is yes. I'm just thinking of who stood out the most. I liked my teachers with like personality and like when they related to me and like made class enjoyable. So, and I hated being lectured to, although I loved it in college, but like in high school for like, 7 hours a day straight, it's like really tough. So, I would say I had like my fourth grade teacher was phenomenal, Mrs. Weinfeld. She just made like learning fun and exciting. And then I would say my 7th grade teacher, Mr. Melvin, was my English and history teacher, and he was awesome because they were good at that stuff.
All right. So what did you learn in school, more specifically college, that prepared you the most for teaching?
Who stood out the most? I liked my teachers with like personality and like when they related to me and like made class enjoyable. So, and I hated being lectured to, although I loved it in college, but like in high school for like 7 hours a day straight, it's like really tough. So, I would say I had like my fourth grade teacher was phenomenal, Mrs. Weinfeld. She just made like learning fun and exciting. And then I would say my 7th grade teacher, Mr. Melvin, was my English and history teacher, and he was awesome because they were good at that stuff.
All right. So what did you learn in school, more specifically college, that prepared you the most for teaching?
Nothing can prepare you for teaching. It's a cliche, but I think teaching prepares you for teaching. I think my field experience is like take observations, but even then I just when you're up there doing it, you realize like how quickly you have to adapt constantly and make decisions on the spot that are the best decisions, and how much teenagers will challenge you because they are hormonal and like moody and they broke up with their boyfriend or girlfriend this morning and they don't have their paper for your class, and you're gonna go at them and try to hold them accountable, and then you're gonna get like a cat fight with somebody. So I don't know, there's just like so many nuances to teaching that it's really difficult to get you. Education classes are very good to introduce you to concepts and theories, and it just once you get into student teaching, I believe, and once you each year teach, you'll realize like it's my 6th or 7th year teaching, and I still feel like I'm still deciding the kind of teacher that I am, and I'm not the same teacher I was 6 years ago. So I think that's experience is what gets you through.
That's interesting. All right. So what are some teaching strategies that you use in order to keep students engaged, like technology, etc.?
Yeah, sure. I use technology every day. We have Chromebooks, so next year we'll have one-to-one computers or to students. And right now I have that in my classroom anyway. I'm just fortunate because I have Chromebook cards. So I use Google Classroom every day. I use Flipgrid is something new that I'm using. It's the video software I told you about before. I use Quizlet, which is great because it can save me time, but by suggesting definitions for kids, and then but I can edit them to match what I want. And besides technology, I would say some new things that are being thrown around in the lexicon are like student choice. Here our initiative is called visible learning. It's like making learning visible to kids, and I think there's a lot to some of that. Is like it puts an emphasis on feedback for students and getting them a part of understanding expectations and then understanding their learning process, and so they can see their growth in learning, which I'm not good at yet, but I'm but it's the most rewarding job you'll ever have, and I do think that that's true, because on any given week I come away and there's something I can feel good about, like there's purpose to this is great. And I would say that's 100% it. And if you ever get to a point where you start to not be able to see that, then it's time to get out, but I'm sure you'll be great at it.
I hope so.
So, after meeting with Mr. Pieper, and asking him all these questions and, having him give me advice on, uh, on what I should be, preparing myself for as a future educator, it kind of made me realize, you know, why exactly I liked him so much in high school. Maybe he was a little disorganized at some points, and maybe he wasn't the cool teacher, and maybe he gave too much work to students sometimes, but he was a very relatable person, and even he said that the teachers he looked up to in high school were very relatable. So I think I liked him because of that aspect that he had. He was also very easy to talk to, and he was, funny at times, and was serious when he needed to be. So it was really nice talking to him.